Hi everyone, it's Nina Perez from DANCETODAY.FUN, and I have another Wedding Connections episode. Today I am bringing the one and only Emcee Bote from Emcee Bote Events. Her name is Stephanie, but we will get to hear all about her. Hi Stephanie,
Hi, everybody. Hi, Nina. Thanks for having me here.
or I should call you Emcee Bote. So I want to hear the story. And we're going to delve into hiring an MC, what makes us want to do that versus not, all of the questions, and give you guys tips on how to do this successfully and stress-free. So welcome, Stephanie. Tell me, how did it all get started?
Yeah, it's a story of my life, really. The mic is my best friend. The stage feels like my home. I think I've been doing the MC gig, Nina, professionally around 3 years now, but I've done this since I was in grade school. Always the class, representative for speeches and programs and big events. The biggest event I think that I've done, not even professionally, is about 10,000 people at a concert and festival. And so I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I've been having so much more fun doing this professionally as well. So it started on a whim. Someone was willing to pay something, didn't know that was even a thing, and now we're here.
Isn't that amazing? I started dancing when I was little too, and then as I got older, I was like, I could make this a career.
It's
It
something in
didn't
there.
kind of occur like people pay you to dance, amazing, right? And so I hear you probably had the microphone at every family event, at every classroom. Like, who wants to speak? You raised your hand. So tell me, now that you're doing it professionally, what do you love most about it?
So I think the one thing that has been special in my journey as a professional MC is that weddings seem to be one of the bigger market that really gravitated towards the service. And I love love. I'm just that kind of person. I love love. I find a lot of like fulfillment and like helping put the spotlight on the people that deserve it the most, whatever that case may be, like if it's the couple or the grandparent or the friend that's trying to share that story. I find a lot of fulfillment in being part of those types of memories. I love people, in our industry, like that's probably a must, if not a natural requirement. I love a great party, right? Who doesn't? But I particularly love that piece. And the wedding like community, like in terms of the vendors, venues, photographers, professionals like ourselves, has been generally so supportive. And it's an industry that I've grown in, learned a lot from. And I find that there's a lot of people in there that have a lot of great intent to help each other grow. So love that part.
And I hear you. I'm actually I have multiple businesses besides the dance school. I also teach people how to have better relationships and connection. And I get asked this all the time. How come you just don't leave the dance school and focus on your coaching because it's going so well? And I say, oh, because I'm always dealing with people who are in love. I'm always, it's so wonderful to be around people who are in love. It makes you feel in love about everything, life and your partner, and it's really hard to let go of having fun with people. And when in my dance classes everybody comes and it's a community and we all have so much fun, it's really hard to be like, oh, I'm just gonna turn that off because I want to do other things too. But it's one of those things that being around happy people, being around in love people, having fun together, it's kind of like what it's all about. So I am not I still have my dance school and I still coach, but I do both, and I love it because of that same reason.
Yes, yes.
Everybody is happy when they're getting
Yes.
married, right?
Everyone's excited, everyone's hyped, and being part of that, like, and making sure that everything goes well for them. A lot of sense of fulfillment, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. And for me, when I teach wedding couples, I get to see them before they get married, and sometimes they keep coming after they get married, date nights. And so it's really nice. And with my connection coaching, a lot of them hire me to even deepen their connection after marriage and make sure that they are creating that in love feeling throughout, not
Mm,
just in the beginning, right? Because the wedding is the first part, the marriage is the long-term commitment, right? So tell me
100%.
a little bit about how do, like you said, the wedding couples are gravitating towards hiring an MC. What
Mm.
makes people want to have an MC? What are the advantages of having a professional MC?
For sure. Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I think a lot of couples don't consider this as part of your standard checklist for your special day. And I think it's because our natural choice would typically be someone we know in our friend group that is somewhat extroverted, that can maybe do this evening and get everyone excited and rallied up. And so I think it boils down to that. Like, the first part is having a professional MC ensures everyone has fun. Not, we're not excluding that one friend of yours, and now putting the burden of, 200 souls essentially in their hands for that evening to entertain them and to ensure they're engaged for the wedding couple. And so I think a lot of people choose to have an MC because they don't want to put someone on the spot, or some people are less privileged. They don't have someone to put on the spot. And so they want to lean on to somebody that, knows what they're doing and are actually having fun with them in the process because they've done this a lot before. And obviously the next part with any wedding professional that, a couple consider, it's just peace of mind, right? Like, us professionals, like, we have seen way too many scenarios. We've played out, so many things that could go wrong, could go well. We work with the smallest amount of detail and make the most out of it, the most out of any situation that we get. So we're well versed, I say, like, for professional MC specifically, we're well versed in the art of distraction. You know, you don't know that there's something going wrong because we're here distracting, and we're trying to communicate and we're trying to entertain while we figure out, like, the back end of things that are not maybe working perfectly. And so I think those two things are probably why a lot of people nowadays are leaning towards professionals more than just relying on people that they know.
And I have seen this many times with wedding couples who don't hire, like, someone is extroverted, but you give them a microphone and now they're nervous and now they're stumbling and now there's awkward moments, or their jokes don't quite work with the crowd because they don't do this often, so they don't know which jokes would be better or more appropriate, or what's going to make the crowd get involved. I mean, when I do lessons, when I get the crowd into the dance floor, sometimes they hire me for lessons after the wedding dance. Then the
Mm.
couple says, let's do a dance lesson so everybody's not shy to get on the dance floor. And of course, I use humor, and I know what works and what doesn't because, like you said, we're professionals. We've been doing it a long time. But if you just kind of give this responsibility to a friend, you really don't know what you're going to get, right?
100%. It's always going to be a surprise. Or you then end up, having a friend that might be, not much of a friend afterwards because of the amount of pressure.
Or they drank too much.
Yeah,
You know, that was because they're
that's even
also
worse.
there as a guest. And so having the multiple hats, it's really hard to manage. I
Mhm.
like the idea of having someone who's knows the schedule, makes the transitions go smoothly because so many things can happen. And I want to hear some of the stories where you kind of saved the day, where it's like you're saying distractions. Something happened and you had to distract the grooms or the audience, the guests. Tell me a story.
Of course, yeah. I unfortunately have one too many stories around things that you didn't think can go wrong, but did go wrong. But one of the most recent ones I'd share, Nina, is probably a prestigious wedding at this really nice venue in the Lower Mainland, and everything was going well. We were in cocktail hour, beginning of the ceremony, no problem. Everything's lovey-dovey. Next thing you know, when it came to the first dance, unfortunately, the DJ clicked the wrong music and played the wrong first dance. And you can relate to this if
Oh.
you've practiced so much for this one dance. And the DJ played a completely different song. The couple decided they'll just wing it anyway. And so it felt natural to the audience because the couple was still dancing to the song, but it was the wrong version completely. The audience obviously wowed. I was able to get them in line with it. They were cheering. No one knew any better. The dance moves worked out. But it definitely it created a little bit of a gap, right? Because they were hoping for this moment to be theirs. And so recognizing that, I created a whole impromptu session in the program, created a little bit of pocket for them to truly dance the first dance song they wanted, and have that moment in relation to that song. And so we had to do that impromptu, and things just were, again, working so well after that until it doesn't. And I think that's really the thing with a lot of events is it it's great when you have, it's like insurance, Nina, you
Yeah.
know, it's great when it's great, and then when it's not, you at least have insurance. And so having these professional MCs on your wedding is your insurance. And true enough, another incident happened. Unfortunately, the bride or bridesmaids or DJ couldn't find the music for the surprise bride dance. And so the groom was sitting there in the middle of the stage, and it was a little bit of silence until I recognized that there was something going on. And so once again, impromptu, in the moment, on the spot, I made up a game, and now we're playing Get to Know the Groom with the crowd, and they were engaged and they were laughing. And now there's fun facts that the groom probably regrets now sharing because of that game. But everything was a lot of the guests were very oblivious to the fact that we've lost a very, very important part of the program. And when they finally figured out the problem, they found the resolution, they found the song, we smoothly inserted that into the program. And the attention went right back into the bride, her surprise dance with her surprise backup dancers. The groom was like really just dumbfounded about what he's looking at. So the guests had no idea what was happening in the background. Everyone was laughing, everyone was engaged. And I think ultimately what the moral of the story is for me and the guests that were there was really just having somebody to navigate all the different moving pieces where everyone feels safe, everyone feels at ease, everyone is still engaged, everyone thinks everything is still going smoothly, is so important when things don't go their way. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
with that simple story, we were able to, make things as memorable and as unforgettable now as we could.
That's amazing. You probably had a great testimonial from that couple, right? And I have heard so many stories around music. So I want you guys to understand you need to know who you're hiring for DJ and always get recommended DJs. Like I recommend DJs. I'm sure MC Bote has a list of vendors she recommends as well. Like don't just hire people that are recommended, have amazing reviews because having the wrong song, I've had that. One of my couples, we choreographed a tango, first dance, and so they had 2 minutes, and the original song was 5 minutes, and then we had a cut version that was 2 minutes and a half. And the DJ confused the versions, and so he played the 5 minute version. Now, luckily, my couple knew how to dance because they did wedding dance lessons and they also learned how to dance. And so once they finished their choreographed routine, the music's still going, so then they had to keep dancing. So then they went to other things that they knew how to do, and then they repeated their choreography and it worked out. But they they told me that, like, they wrote me this huge letter saying, oh my god, Nina, like the DJ screwed up and thank god we knew what to do. And so because they had instruction, because they had people like us supporting them, it just went smoothly. But imagine if they didn't, right? And so it's so important to know who you're hiring. And this is why I love that you can meet all of us at the All Dressed in White bridal show. That's actually where we met, right, Stephanie? And
Yes.
and I always tell the wedding couples, this is a great opportunity to meet us, ask us questions, and get the vibe. Like, are we going to jive? We have recommendations there. We have like discounts. And so I want to hear, what do you give to the people that come to the All Dressed in White wedding shows? Is there special discounts that are only available on that day?
100%, Nina. We really try our best to, utilize this time to meet our couples. I think for me, the biggest value that I've had being part of these events is actually just getting to meet people face to face. And therefore, you kind of relax your packages a little bit, you know? You kind of meet them, you get to know their story, and you relax a little bit. And so, yes, at the event on Sunday at the all dressed in white show, Emcee Bote Events is giving out some deals there for all you that are coming in. We've got some gift card giveaways. We've got discounted packages only exclusively available for the couples that are at the show.
And you know what, you guys, you can see us in action because I have heard MC Bote be the MC of All Dressed in White. And so you can see how funny she is and how easy she makes everything be. As well, I'll be teaching a dance class as well. So you can see me in action. You can also learn, you can get an experience, a little taste of what it would be like at your wedding to have us be there. Now, Stephanie, I always ask this to give our couples a little bit of help. If they were to go the route of hiring an MC, what are things that they should know, think about, consider to make the process much easier for them? What are the questions they should even ask possible MCs that they're going to hire?
Yeah, this is a great question, Nina, because I find that a lot of couples are different, but there's generally certain things that I would suggest for couples to look out for when they're looking for a professional MC. And the first, probably most important tip would be, how do you vibe? There is definitely an element of alignment of like the delivery, the approach, the personality of the MC that will speak to others and might not speak to some. And so my advice is to definitely meet your MC, whether that's virtually, on the phone, in person, have a sense of their personality, and you'll know right away if they could be a good match for the guests that you have or the approach that you're looking for in your particular wedding day. So that's the first most important one for me. The second one would definitely be experience. Just as we mentioned earlier, in terms of experience, we are looking for people that have done this before, the wedding industry professionals specifically, where they've seen different kinds of programs, different kinds of TikTok trends, even that they can incorporate into your special day. All of that amount to a much better experience. And so I find that, you know, newer MCs are great. And also some of them might be lacking in terms of program and timeline development skills, which are very important when it comes to planning out your day. And so something to keep an eye out for is just how long have they been doing this and what kind of systems do they have in place to make sure that it is a successful day. And then finally, I think Nina and I do this all the time. We've got recommendations. And so if in doubt, reach out to your nearest wedding professional. They know the community, they know the people that are in there. We've got access to things like all dressed in white conferences where we get to meet fellow professionals and get a sense of who they are and what services they have. So these referrals and reviews from co-vendors or co-professionals can be invaluable to the wedding couple.
I totally agree because once I've met you, I was like, that's the only person I'm going to refer people to. And this is why we're even here. So I only interview people that I have met and I trust and I like, and I like how they do that, what they do. So, and for those of you who like are worried about DJs, you need to talk to us because we have
Yes.
seen it all, right? We want to make sure you hire a good DJ. Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was wonderful. But I want to know before we go where we can get a hold of you. So what's your website, Instagram, all your socials? Just what's the fastest, easiest way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, fastest, easiest way, Nina, would be visiting my website at emceeboteevents.com. You can see the spelling on my shirt here. I am rocking the merch today with Nina, but that is the best way. You have my social links in there as well, and a direct form to be able to contact me and even book a time to just chat, get to know each other a little bit better. But if you are looking for specific social content, I'm on Instagram, Emcee Bote Events as well, and Facebook reflects that as well. So yes, reach out to me anywhere and everywhere.
And definitely come to meet us for these 1 day offers where they're only available at the All Dressed in White Bridal Show, which, if you haven't heard of it, go to adiw.ca. It has a lot of lovely information. And then come to the event and meet us and get to know all of the vendors and make your choices on that day, because we will have those special discounts, just as MC Bote was talking about. And then you can see us in action. She will be emceeing, I will be doing a dance lesson. Plus, they have lots of prizes and fun things. Don't miss out. So, thank you so much, Stephanie. It was wonderful to get to know you and your story and what you do for us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nina. Appreciate your time. See you, everybody.
See you on Sunday.